Do you ever get the feeling that you're busy doing marketing things in your business? You're busy posting stuff on Facebook, or you're busy building a new website, or you're busy doing stuff, but nothing seems to be really working for you, or nothing seems to be gaining any traction? More often than not, that's because you're focused on tactical things, but you haven't developed a clear strategy before you implement those tactical things. What do I mean by that? Well, let's talk about that next. Hi, I'm Jason Foss. What we're talking about today is an objective turned into strategy, turned into tactics. So what do I mean by those things? Well, if you think about, say you had to get to a new address, a place you hadn't been before. So you look up the address on Google Maps, you know where it is that you've got to go, and Google Maps will then give you some options. You've got this route here you can take, or you can go that way and it's a couple of minutes slower, but you look at that, well, maybe there's fewer traffic lights, or it's a nicer drive, or something like that. But it'll give you some options in terms of how you can get from where you are now to where it is that you need to be. So you pick one of those routes and you hop into the car and you start driving, and you'll be turning the steering wheel and putting your foot on the brake and the accelerator and changing gears and doing what you need to do to follow that route to get to where you need to go. So if you think about that, the address that you need to get to is like your objective. That's where you need to be. The options that Google Maps gives you are different strategic options. You've got some different ways of get to where you need to be, and you can choose one of those strategies. Then when you hop into your car and start driving, tactics are the things that you're actually doing to get there. So the turning of the steering wheel, the operating of the pedals, the changing of the gears, they're all tactical things. So if you were to jump in your car and start driving and you didn't have an objective or a strategy in place, you'd be busy driving the car and things would be moving and it felt like you're doing stuff. But are you getting anywhere? You could be driving around in circles, you could be driving off in the complete opposite direction to where you need to be. However, if you've got an objective in place, somewhere you need to be, and then you've looked at your options as to how to get there, you've chosen a route through Google Maps, for example, when you then implement your strategies, the turning of the steering wheel, the turning left here, the turning right there, in line with that strategy, you're going to get to where you need to be. And we see a lot of small businesses not doing any strategic work, not having any objectives. They're busy doing stuff, but just driving around in circles for the most part. So that's why it's really important, before you start doing anything and spending any money on any tactical things, make sure that you know where it is that you need to get to, what it is that you're trying to do, and then put some consideration into how we're going to get there. You know, what methods do we need to think about? Think about who your ideal customers are and what sort of things they might be looking at and how they might be thinking. Look at the alternatives. It could be competition, or it could be indirect competition. So alternatives is a better word for mine. What are your customers' alternatives to choosing you, and why would they choose you? And once you've given some thought to these sorts of things, you can then develop a strategy around getting to where you need to be, and then the things that you need to actually do will either make sense or not make sense, and you can make some smarter decisions about what you then choose to invest your time and money in doing. Raising revenue or increasing your sales is an objective. And there are three main strategies that you could probably follow to help you obtain that objective. So you can either get more customers, you can increase the average sale value, or you can increase the frequency with which your existing customers come back and buy from you again. So there are three main strategies that you can follow to help you achieve the objective of generating more revenue. Now, once you choose one of those strategies, the tactics that you then implement will differ depending on which of those three strategies you've chosen. And have a think about, like, what are we doing here? Where are we spending our marketing budget? Is that going to help us achieve any of those strategies, and how? Food for thought. I might cover some of these other things in a bit more detail in a future video. That's it for today though. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.